Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Bugs. Joining me are my teammates. Let's go, guys. Come on.
Genos.
I'm Trank the Tank.
And I'm Lord.
I'm Lord. You cut out.
Now you're just my side hoe.
You cut out, bro.
I heard
just
Lord
like,
Tim.
I'm Lord. Okay. But anyways, we're here to discuss the biggest flexes in fiction. I'll be starting with Dio flexing on Polnareff. You know. Has anyone else here watched JoJo besides Doug and him?
Nope.
No, just Trank. Just Trank. The only one. Yes,
The only thing for me is just debates. I've had to do a whole bunch of stuff like with judging matches. People use the stands.
Okay, well, basically, what happens is Polnareff is trying to reach Dio to kill him, and like Dio's just stopping time and moving him down the stairs, and Polnareff's just like, "What the fuck's happening? What just happened, man?" And Dio's just like, "You want to admit defeat? You're so scared. You keep backing up." And he just keeps trolling him. Polnareff just keeps trying to walk up the stairs, and he has no clue what's happening. It's just probably one of my favorite flexes in JoJo, honestly.
Yeah, that's basically all Dio was doing, was just absolutely trolling poor Polnareff. Polnareff didn't even know what was going on, and Dio was just having the time of his life with his newfound ability and time stop.
That was a great time. I enjoyed watching that.
Sounds epic.
You really need to watch JoJo, brother.
I know. After my DC binge, I'm gonna watch Hunter x Hunter probably all the way through, so I can finally, answer used questions, or I'm gonna start JoJo's at least. I think you said the third installment of it.
Yeah, go watch the first two seasons. They're on Netflix.
Okay.
The first two seasons are probably my favorite. Like the third
Yeah,
season is awesome too.
Two's easily my favorite so far.
Yeah, two's the best. Joseph's just a mad lad. I love that man.
Tim says on the chat he can no longer hear either myself or you, Dalton.
Okay, he's gonna have to leave and re-enter.
Yeah, just leave and rejoin the call. But anyways,
Leave.
I'll pass that on to you, Genos.
Okay, so for my fifth biggest flex in fiction, I got Jiren meditating in the Tournament of Power after he had defeated Ultra Instinct Goku for the first time. It pretty much signified that he didn't even view anyone else on that stage as a shadow of a threat, which was pretty hilarious. He basically didn't even view them as a threat to his underlings in Topo, Dispo, and the rest of the Justice Squad there, so I thought that was a pretty big flex. A guy just pretty much meditating and taking a nice little nap.
Yeah, I have to agree that was a really awesome moment. Like, everyone thought also that he was like healing or something, like some kind of damage, but all he was doing is just like, "Yep, I'm bored. I'm just gonna sleep."
Oh yeah, I enjoyed June. It's too bad he didn't actually talk more, have more of a character.
Mm-hmm. He's probably one of my favorite Japanese voice actors too, over the English dub. Like, the English
yeah.
dub for him was kind of like, it seemed forced.
I agree.
I don't like the English dub for Super in general.
I just don't like Goku as like the Japanese. Other than that, everyone else is fine.
Yeah, like the only English voices I like are probably Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo.
Yeah,
There's echo coming from Tim's mic. We're gonna have to.
yeah. I was gonna say I can hear myself really bad.
Yeah, I have to refuck with the volume settings.
Okay. Well, do you want to move on to you, Trink?
Yeah, mine is definitely gonna be Madara. Pretty much soloing the War Shinobi Alliance. Just to see the entire numbers of them just rush him and then he's just soloing all of them just casually, and like he's not even using his Sharingan hardly at all or any of like his high ninjutsu. He's just rushing them with like taijutsu. And the biggest flex I felt was when he picked up 2 of the swords and just like dashed and cut like 20 plus people. Like that was just amazing. Or also the guy who places a bomb tag. He tries to place a bomb tag on him with the kunai, and Madara's like, yeah, no, and just takes the kunai, tosses it at the guy, places the bomb tag on the dude, kicks him away, and then that blows up, and Madara's just like, yeah, guy just blew up. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. Actually, I was gonna add that, but I felt like you actually would have had that on your list, so I didn't bother.
Mm-hmm.
Can Timothy talk yet? He's still kind of echoey.
Yeah, I can hear you guys, and I'm not sure if it's my thing that's echoing or yours.
No, it's definitely yours. Your
Okay.
name's lighting up whenever the echo happens. I'm totally gonna have to cut out all this blank silence, unless we can talk about something cool.
Just turned off echo. Just turned
Works!
off cancellation. So can you
We're
guys?
experiencing, I'm sorry, peoples, we're experiencing some technical difficulties on the end of the Tim, but we will get back to you as soon as we can.
I did enjoy that voice. So, but I think the echo is gone now too. It's not as bad.
Well, of course, Cosby joined in, so of course everything that's wrong is going to get fixed.
Oh my god.
I can still hear it a little bit. You might just have to switch your sensitivity up a little bit higher, Tim, so it's not picking up our voices.
Well, I had it all the way up when you guys were hearing my freaking echo, and I just turned it to I turned echo cancellation off and then turned the sensitivity down.
Well, I don't really hear the echo anymore. It's kind of fine, I think.
Yeah, actually, it just stopped.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo like at all anymore.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's completely gone.
Yeah, you can move on to your pick, Tim. Or just not talk.
I think he turned it so high that it won't even pick up his voice now.
Oh my god.
His dog stole his headset.
I feel bad. So, I mean, just general topics, how's everyone's day?
I'm doing well. I've been binging a lot of DC animated series, and I think I'm almost finished with Superman the animated series finally. Oh, I guess I could talk about the thing that I was talking about in the chat. So, everyone I'm sure is aware that Aquaman is he has the ability to telekinetically or telepathically contact sea creatures, and him and Lois Lane are like stuck in like a firefight between like these opposing gangs or something, and Luthor's men come in and they need to get back Aquaman because like they're doing some sort of experiment with him. So I expect like, okay, here comes some swordfish or some sort of fish flying out of the ocean, or a giant octopus. No, the motherfucker summons a whole bunch of flock of seagulls to like attack these like armed mercenaries, and I'm just like, this is the funniest thing ever. Like, why is he summoning a bunch of seagulls?
Oh my god.
Actually, that's a pretty good flex. I mean, that
I honestly was gonna include that as a flex. So. Flex number 6, I guess.
Yeah, that's just kind of like, you're not even worthy of being eaten by a shark. I'm just gonna stick a flock of shithawks on you.
This is what you get for bringing bread to the beach, motherfucker.
Can you talk yet, Tim?
Yeah, I can. I'm pretty sure I can.
Okay, yeah. Let's discuss your flex, brother.
Okay. When Perfect Cell was standing still through Krillin's attacks, and then he just
Yes.
stood still through the Destructor Disc that previously cut everything it had hit. And he's just like, oh, fuck. Turn around and does nothing. Like, that's gotta be one of the biggest flexes in early Dragon Ball.
Probably, I would have to agree there. Because what's even better is it doesn't he doesn't deflect it. He doesn't do anything to do it. It's just like the energy hits him and just dissipates. It's just like nope, it didn't even work.
Yeah, what's especially impressive about that is Krillin had previously hurt people with far higher stats than himself, like when he cut Vegeta's tail off with it. You know, and Vegeta was leagues above him at the time.
He did it to second form Frieza as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Destructo Disc is probably, I would say, one of the best conventional durability attacks in bypass in the series. Like it almost ignores just durability. It's just like it's a giant blade of energy and it's gonna cut you. And then Cell is just like it's like nope, sorry, it didn't work. Try again there, brother.
I agree, though. That's a great flex. Another excellent flex. That's, I got one here. This is a comic flex. I don't know if anyone else here is gonna even know this story.
Pulls up Wikipedia and is ready.
It's an Ultimate X-Men story with Jean Grey flexing on Apocalypse. Basically, Apocalypse is trying to take over the world here. And he's acting like he's the king shit. And Jean Grey in her Phoenix form just kind of walks up to him and melts him just with her aura. And it's pretty insane to watch. She's flexing so hard on him. She's just like, a physical confrontation is beneath me, but I'll go down to your level just to show you how outclassed you are.
So here's an overall question then for how Jean Grey has evolved or devolved over the years in comics. Has there ever been just a huge nerf to the Phoenix Force, or has it stayed pretty consistent throughout?
It's pretty consistent. Depends on who's using it. There could be someone like Namor using it. He's obviously not going to have full control of the Phoenix Force.
I remember when I saw in one of the chats wherein someone mentioned that Wolverine had it, and I'm like, of course he has it.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just like...
Most of the X-Men have probably had it at this point.
It's just Nightcrawler's just on fire and teleporting. He's like, ah!
I'm actually not too sure if that's happened. Probably has. Someone's gonna have to fact check.
You know what? I'm gonna look it up.
I'm looking. It up.
We are discussing it. I'm gonna fact check it.
But while we're doing that, you want to move on to your pick, Douglas?
Absolutely. So on my fourth pick, I have Guts grabbing Serpico's sword with his bare hand. Now this was
I haven't watched Berserk in forever.
Now this was pretty crazy because if you've ever had a blade slide in your hand before, it sure doesn't feel nice. So for Guts just to grab Serpico, who is a pretty good swordsman and quite physically strong himself, just grab his sword and shatter it with his fake arm while Serpico actually tries to pull the sword away. And he warned Guts that if he pulled the sword away, it would cut his fingers off. But then he tried, and, you know, Guts was just so physically strong, and the callus on his hands was built up so thick that it did nothing. He was able to just hold the sword there despite Serpico pulling with all his strength. And that's why I have it at the fourth biggest flex on my list.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't... I read Berserk in, I think it was like near the end of high school, but I don't remember a lot of it. That's probably a series I need to like redo.
Oh, it's excellent.
So just an update. Nightcrawler has indeed had the Phoenix Force in What If Volume 2, Issue number 2.
Sweet. Did he like have it? He teleported and was scared of fire, or?
I mean, he looks pretty engulfed in flames in the picture. I'll have to read it. There's a list saying he had it.
I think it'd be hilarious if like next door is the Human Torch and he's just like, oh come on.
He looks pretty calm with it.
He looks pretty.
I'm looking at it right now.
That echo though. It's back again.
Guess who's back? Back again. The echo's back.
Maybe
Tell
try
a friend.
switching on automatically determine the input sensitivity back on there, Tim, and see. Let's try that.
I'm just gonna keep fucking around with it until eventually it stops. Okay.
Do it.
Work now?
Is it still there? I think
Testing,
it's
testing.
gone.
1, 2, 3.
Can you talk
Yeah, it's
though,
gone.
Tim?
I don't have an echo.
Can you talk to him?
I can. All of you guys are echoing on my end though, so.
Okay, well, that's your end. You can hear the video later and it'll be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's trank. Sure. Yeah, it's
Probably I would have to say. I'd probably have to say when Ichigo was pretty much kind of stalemating Byakuya, and Byakuya unleashed his Bankai. I felt that was like a huge flex, just like, okay, you think that you have me on the ropes, and then he awakens his hollow form, and just Byakuya's face is just like, what is this? What is going on? I thought that was a really awesome flex. Just the main part is just how Byakuya has Ichigo knew already the kind of battle that he was going to get in with him, and then he just used Bankai, and Ichigo's just like, wait, what?
I'm surprised for Bleach you don't have when Ichigo grabbed onto Aizen's face when Aizen said, "Oh, you can't control where we fight," and Ichigo just grabbed his face and just
Don't talk about that.
yeeted off out into the wilderness.
Yeah, the other flex I would do is where Aizen says, "You don't even understand like my power," and Ichigo's like, "That was the swing of my sword." And it like just demolishes the mountain behind him, and Aizen's like, oh, okay.
Can we just talk about the biggest flex in Bleach when Aizen caught Ichigo's sword with one finger? You know, that was
yeah.
better than anything
Yeah.
Ichigo ever did. Flexing on that.
I would also say one for Aizen would be Captain Yamamoto engulfs them all in flames. I think it was Tosin, Gin, and him, and then Aizen just casually walks out of it.
Aizen has all the good flexes in Bleach. We could just stay here all day talking about Aizen flexes. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm probably. All right, Timothy, it is your go.
For the next flex, I'm thinking in issue 163 with Spawn, where God and Satan had their entire army and all the people of Earth wiped out. He just tells them to look around, as if you've already lost. Give up. Like, you don't get much worse than that when you're just sitting there and you can't even harm your opponent, and your whole army's already dead too.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, Spawn's another character that has so many great flexes. That's definitely one of my favorite Spawn flexes. He flexed on God and the devil. Who else can?
That's one of the big animated series I need to rewatch. I only watched like part of it when I was younger.
You gotta read the comics.
You gotta read the comics.
Well, you know me in comics, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, you need to read all the comics.
I need to read all the comics.
Yes, yes, you do. Okay, so I'll move on to my third. Is it my third flex? Yes, third. Is it my third? Yeah, my third flex.
Yes, we're on number 3.
I got Lelouch flexing on the world. This is a spoiler for anyone who hasn't finished watching Code Geass.
Yeah, thank you.
I already watched it, so.
That's on me though. I should have finished it already, but go for it.
Yeah, so, anyways, I could honestly talk about the series all day, but this is my favorite part, and it's probably a lot of people's favorite parts. And this is where after Lelouch has already flexed on his father and taken over the entire world, and you know he's the emperor, he controls everything. He plans an assassination on himself basically, and he just like he flexes on the world. He's like, yeah, I'm better than this. You guys don't need me. I'll be the martyr that saves the world and makes everybody good, you know. It's hard to put into words. Just a really great flex.
Is that season 2? I'm guessing.
Yes, season 2. It's, he flexes by killing himself. It's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I think I ended off on episode 19 of season 1.
It's a pretty sad flex, but there's also like he's probably still alive. I haven't watched R3 honestly. I'm pretty sure that's out. It's just it could have been done after the second season. It didn't need any more. Anyways, go Doug.
Alright, so on my number 3 pick, I have Mihawk tooling Zoro with a butter knife.
Yes.
Now, at this time, Zoro had a little bit of hype behind him. You know, he was the bounty hunter of the East Blue. And, I mean, he's got 3 swords, he's really badass, and then we see Mihawk come floating up in a coffin, slice another ship in half, and all the pirates seem terrified of him, and Zoro challenges him. And Mihawk, being Mihawk, decides to flex and pull out a butter knife and absolutely thrash Zoro with the butter knife. Who does that?
Oh my god.
Now, in the end, Zoro did earn his respect with his resolve and his willingness to die for his goals. But, I mean, at first, Mihawk seriously flexed on him, but eventually he did pull out his actual sword and delivered a really devastating cut to Zoro. But, I mean, that's a massive flex fighting an expert swordsman like Zoro, who had been training for pretty much his whole life to that point with a butter knife. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
I love that flex.
For sure. Like,
what makes that flex so much better is he did have that giant sword, and he just
yes, for sure.
Yeah, like the entire time it's just strapped to his back and he's just wailing away on Zoro with a butter knife.
I have this giant sword. I don't need to use it on you though.
I think it would have been even funnier if like he caught him in the middle of like cooking or something and he had an apron on and it was just like a chef knife and he's still cooking and cutting up like vegetables and then he's just sitting there just like da, 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 and then just like blocking all of his hits. I'd be like, wow. That's just like the ultimate disrespect to me too, as far as like I do not view you as a swordsman at all.
I think
Let me show you how much. Like once he pulled his own sword, yeah, that was different. But just man, I have to pick a different one though, because that was going to be one of mine. I haven't watched One Piece all the way through, but like of what I have, that's probably my favorite moment in One Piece for a flex. So I have to
Yeah.
think of another one.
Yeah, actually,
Mihawk's another one of those characters that has quite a few flexes throughout One Piece. He doesn't have many appearances, but he has quite a few flexes.
Every time he
Yeah,
appears, it's a flex.
he like pull.
Like, there's no appearance he had where he didn't flex on someone.
Yeah. He just like casually cut the armada in half, or like one of the boats, and then the giant ice glacier, I think.
Yeah, he flexed on Luffy, almost killed him, and then destroyed the entire iceberg behind him.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was versus Luffy.
I liked how he flexed on Zoro in the Stampede movie. Zoro
Yeah,
just, like,
that was another one.
Zoro just puts all this power into destroying this meteor, and Mihawk fucking just wipes it all away with one little no-name slash. That was great.
And the look he gave Zoro, that was the real flex.
He's like, you're still not on my level, boy.
Yeah, like he looked at Zoro and you could just kind of see in his body language and the way he looked at Zoro that was just kind of clearly telling him, like, you know, you got a long ways to go before you take my title.
We're gonna have to move on now before we talk about more One Piece flexes, because I know I have one that I want to talk about later.
That's fine. So it's my go. Let's see.
Sure.
I just have to think of another one because that was mine. So, which Fate series is it, Tim, where Gilgamesh is in Ryder's dimension, and he Fate Zero. Okay, I thought it was Fate Zero. That's probably going to be mine when he has that whole entire army just coming at him, and he just unleashes his sword and just annihilates them. I thought that was just one of the biggest flexes I'd ever seen when I was younger. Just like, I was like, holy cow, who is this character, and what is, like, how much stronger is he gonna show? I love that moment.
Yeah, I think Gilgamesh versus Shiro was a bigger flex because he didn't use his eyes, he didn't use half of his arsenal, and he stood still the entire time. And that's the reason he lost. But I mean, he was willing to lose rather than respect Shiro.
Mm-hmm.
That was a much bigger flex.
Gilgamesh is another one of those characters that just has all the flexes.
So he just has so many. Like, just like his nonchalant, no care attitude, and then even when there's an opponent that does kind of compete with him, he still just like brushes them off like they're nothing.
We're gonna move on to Timothy. He probably has all the fate flexes.
Trying to think of another good one. Because I really was going to consider Mihawk, but
We all thought of that one. That's great. Damn you, Doug.
It's good flex.
It is.
Very good flex. Yeah, I was thinking of that one too, but I had to broaden my horizon. They could all have been One Piece flexes.
Oh yeah. So many of mine could have been like Naruto and a whole, like, probably there's a couple fairy tale ones.
Beerus versus the Z Fighters. Who was it that he beat with chopsticks?
Tien or
Piccolo?
Piccolo. Piccolo. He beat him with Piccolo. He hit him in like 2 pressure points, and Piccolo's eyes were just like, get.
See that to me was like, when I watched that live in the movie theater, that was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, big time. In the movie theater, that, like, when I first saw Beerus, I was just like, whoa.
Oh man, when I first saw him, like, one-shot Goku in Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, you knew how powerful he was. You were just like, oh god.
Like, honestly, watching it, I was expecting Goku to, like, mollywop him or something. I wasn't expecting Beerus to just, like, ragdoll him with one shot like that.
What I was expecting is the whole, when you know you're able to tank, like, a hit, and it does the whole you scoot back from the position that you were at. I thought that's what was going to happen with Beerus as far as Super Saiyan 3, like Goku gets serious and Beerus gets just pushed back a little bit, but nope, it was just like, you don't even phase me.
Yeah, the only one who even managed to even put a dent on Beerus was raged out Vegeta, and even then he didn't
Yeah.
really put
My
Beerus in any trouble.
Bulma!
That's my Bulma! God, that's such a good line.
Oh my god.
No, one of the Tim, you know what the biggest flex in Dragon Ball Super is?
Huh.
We can't
The
talk
dance, the bingo dance of Vegeta, like by far.
about- Oh my god.
Gosh,
When I saw that, I was like, God, Christopher Sabat, what are you doing?
I'm gonna move on now.
Okie dokie.
My number 2 flex is an Injustice comic with Batman. He goes to rescue Tim Drake from the Phantom Zone. After they get out, Zod kind of escapes and like kills Tim Drake. It's like Batman, he doesn't like get mad or anything, doesn't cry about it. You know what he does? He gets even. He comes up to Zod, and you know what he says? Like Zod tackles him in his robot suit and everything, and this kryptonite gas comes out. And he's just like, "Wait a sec. This is just a sample I took, created by 2 madmen. It's a kryptonite gas mixed with fear toxin. I could never use it on Clark. Not after what it did to, not after what it made him do. But you killed one of my boys. You should be very afraid, 'cause I'm going to fuck you up."
I feel you should re-say that in the Christian Bale Batman voice, and oh my God, it'd be even more terrifying.
Oh my god. 'Cause I'm gonna fuck you up.
This is gonna be my guess. What does it look like? I can never do it again on him.
Yeah, but Zod probably regrets that for sure. It's one of my favorite moments in the Injustice comics. Batman just flexes on everybody all the time. Another character with a lot of flexes. Your turn.
The animated series Batman has way too many flexes. It's kind of stupid sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Batman has more flexes than JoJo.
Yeah, Batman's just one of those guys who is just constantly flexing.
Like every time he
I
does
mean-
anything, it's a flex because he's a normal person. he doesn't
Turns
fucking-
turns on a flashlight to look into a room. God, Batman, what a flex.
Exactly. Fucking Gordon's there in the back, just like, wow.
Bullock like drops his donut like, God, I can't even eat this right now.
Oh my god. I'm just imagining, like, Wiggum's son, what's his name? Ralph. I'm in danger. Go ahead, Janos.
Alright, so my number 2 pick is Thor's basically taking on Ocelot's entire crew, who are armed with swords, axes, every weapon you could probably imagine, with just nothing but his fists. And, like, he hadn't been to war in years and years. Like, at this point, we think he's a pacifist. So to watch him just mop 2 crews full of hardened veteran warriors was just absolutely insane. Like, it's such a huge flex. Like, he's like, you're so far below me, I don't even have to use a weapon. The only one he does use a weapon on is Ocelot.
I still need to start watching Vinland.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's one I need to check up on. That and Kingdom, I hear those are the 2 that I need to check up on.
Yeah, Kingdom's on my list for sure.
I should start watching Vinland for the next episode.
Oh yeah, Vinland. Oh my god, it's just so good.
You still gotta read Black Clover, Doug. Hurry up.
I need to get
Yeah.
caught up on caught up on Black Clover ASAP.
Everybody should get caught up on Black Clover. There's some, oh my
Yeah.
god, there's some Black Clover flexes I want to talk about too. I should have just. There's so many flexes I want to talk about. Honestly, we're gonna.
I mean, we don't have to make this 5. I mean, Like, what's the video? What's the video at? Not even
I think we probably
52 minutes.
It's
Yeah, that's not.
35 minutes.
Oh, that's right. I was on this longer when you needed to get added to your own chat.
You're tripping, brother. Anyways, it's Trank's turn to talk about a flex, I think.
Mine will be pretty much the final episode of Justice League Unlimited when it is Superman versus Darkseid. I absolutely love how just throughout the whole entire season you kind of see like a nerfed Superman sitting there having to like he gets hit by all these weaker attacks and stuff like that, and then he goes toe to toe with probably his strongest adversary, and just what he says to him is just so chilling. Like I feel like my entire world was made out of cardboard, and at every moment I could just kill someone or something. And he's like, "But you can take it, big guy, can't you? What we have here is a special opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am." And just knocks his ass like out through the city, and then instantly just is there to knock him down into Metropolis, like below. I absolutely love that. Or probably the one would be Batman dodging Darkseid's Omega beams. That's just like at first it's like what, and then at the other end you're just like, wow, that's a pretty big flex.
Yeah, Darkseid kind of flexed right back on on Superman though. Once he busted out the old Agony Matrix and just kind of
Oh yeah. And then when Darkseid's sitting there like still alive, and he just pulls out a kryptonite butter knife to kill Superman with.
Taking a little bit of Seahawks style there.
Yeah, Metron just appears and is like, you know, I warned you, Lex.
Yeah, just imagine
But yeah.
if you read comics, Trank.
I know. I'm sure there's so many better ones in the animated series, but
Like, how do you just
Darkseid is a walking flex in the comics.
Just
Huh?
Very true.
Darkseid is a walking fucking flex in the comics.
Even
I
just
remember
his
the-
outfit
I
is a
actually have one
flex.
I want to talk about. I have one I want to talk about when it's my turn.
I think it is your turn if Trank's done.
yeah, I'm done.
Where Darkseid, he BFR'd like 5 or so people. He could have killed them. He even told them this, but instead he chose to teleport them all across space-time to completely different eras, each and every one of them. As he didn't have any reason to do it. He just did.
Darkseid is the king of the flexes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Darkseid is he never really even shows his true form either. He just kind of sends avatars out to do this, you know, just kind of for his amusement, really.
I think that's probably the biggest flex. He doesn't even need to show his true form.
Yeah, like he's just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna send a little avatar just to have a little fun with Superman.
GG Superman. GG no re. Is that all you wanted to say about that Darkseid flex, Timothy?
Oh yeah. That one's just. If you had read that comic, you would know how big of a flex it really was.
There's a lot of comics I have to read. There's another, well, it's Darkseid related, not really, but when Superman flies through the multiverse to punch World Forger in the face, and he's just super.
Oh
huge.
yeah.
That's a massive flex on Superman's
I
part.
saw that one so many times through like multiple communities. I was like, what is this? And then I saw it and I was like, holy shit.
That's just a massive flex on Superman's part. I think he didn't need to go through all of that. He did, and he punched him in the face. So I'll move on to my number 1 flex for the night. This is Zoro, obviously. I'm pretty sure Doug can probably guess what this flex is.
Countering the butter knife.
Yeah, I know which flex it is, but I'll let you address it.
Countering the butter knife. He still probably couldn't do that. He'd probably get mollywopped with the butter knife right now. No cap. But Zoro's biggest flex, the biggest flex in all of One Piece, is when Zoro takes all of Luffy's pain that he accumulated through all of Thriller Bark. And this is a lot of like, if you've seen Thriller Bark, you would know what Luffy went through. He got punched by a building-sized Gecko Moria, among other things. He got, like, what else did he have? Like, there's so many things that happened to Luffy throughout that, and like, he took so much damage, and he's pretty much dead by himself the way he was. And Kuma just takes all of the pain from Luffy, and Zoro takes it. And that's not even the biggest flex. The biggest flex is later on when Sanji finds Zoro standing there, just covered in blood. And Sanji's like, "What happened?" And Zoro's just standing there. Nothing. Nothing happened. That's the ultimate One Piece flex. Like, Zoro is the greatest character.
And just to elaborate on how much pain that was, Luffy had fought Oars, a zombified version of Oars. He fought Gecko Moria infused with like 1,000 shadows or something, like just a huge amped Gecko Moria. And then on top of that, he fights Kuma and gets absolutely wrecked, and all this pain, like he's not healing fully from any of these fights. It's just back to back to back to back. And all this pain, like as you mentioned, he's basically on his deathbed, and Zoro takes all that pain on top of Zoro's pain from fighting Kuma, and also fighting all these people. And Zoro just shakes it off. Oh, it's nothing. And like, if you watch the anime or if you see the manga, there is blood everywhere that was expelled from Zoro's body. Like, it's a miracle that Zoro lived that.
And the biggest flex about that is it completely changed Sanji's character. Like, that's what made him know Zoro's a way better man than he'll ever be. Oh, but yeah, go ahead, Genos.
Okay, so my number 1 flex is Kurapika bringing a shovel to fight Uvogin, because Kurapika knew that he was going to catch a body. Like, that's a ridiculous flex. If you bring a shovel to a deathmatch with somebody, that's just how confident you are that you're going to win and you're going to kill that person.
And like, the best part about that is Uvogin just finished flexing on a group of characters that were massively hyped, like the Mafia Shadow Beasts. It's just...
Yeah, and the Shadow Beasts, like, they were basically portrayed as these badasses that always got the job done and always killed their targets, and Uvogin actually bit one of the Shadow Beast's skull off, the lead Shadow Beast, spit it at another Shadow Beast, and managed to kill him with a shard of his own comrade's skull. And then Kurapika, brings a shovel to a death match with this guy, because he knew he was going to end up burying him and putting him 6 feet under the ground. Like, that is just the biggest flex I can possibly think of in fiction.
It's like the biggest flex in Hunter x Hunter for sure. Kurapika is just a savage.
Oh, he's ruthless.
Highly enjoy Kurapika. I wish, like, we got to see more fights with him, honestly. Like, the rest of his appearances are pretty lackluster. That's like his only real fight.
Yeah, about halfway through the story, they kind of stopped giving him and Leorio so much shine.
Now, like, the arcs are all about him, but they're just boring. Like, have you read the new chapters of Hunter x Hunter?
No, I haven't caught up with the manga yet.
Yeah, no, they're actually they're pretty boring, honestly. There's so many opportunities for a good Kurapika fight, but it doesn't happen. Go ahead, Trank.
So, my number one, of course, is probably easily guessed, but it is definitely Mustang versus Lust in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The man literally gets stabbed, like, fatally wounded through I would say probably through, like, some of his organs. And he comes out and says, to Lust, I seared the wound closed. I almost passed out from the pain. And he just sits there and ignites her with such an intense flame. And just that moment is just so epic. Like, that was probably the peak of where, if people want to talk about how good Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is, that is one of the biggest peak moments of the entire series.
I agree. Mustang is probably one of my favorite characters from Full Metal.
Yeah,
Mustang agreed.
And like just that whole entire like episode, like there's comedic moments, there's so much in that episode that is just amazing.
Like how it just keeps burning, just snap, snap, snap.
Yeah, I know. And she like leaps out at like one last ditch effort, and he's just like, nah, bish, and just ignites her. It's just, oh man, it's so good.
I love the Mustang. Like Fullmetal Alchemist is just a great series. Not as many flexes though. Mustang's one of the big flexers.
Yeah, I would say Greedling is one of the only other big flexers, and then Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley flexed on an entire army.
Oh, the when he literally just rushes a tank, and he's just like, yep.
Yeah, Bradley goes to solo an army. That was one of the bigger flexes in Full Metal Alchemist too.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna actually like, I have this one saved, but I'm gonna show you guys it. But who here reads Baki?
I do.
Okay, when Yujiro as a baby demanded to be delivered.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Literally, when he was still in the womb, he was ordering people to let him out. And when they pulled him out, they commented on how fucking hard and muscular he was. And even when he was a baby, he was kicking ass.
Oh my god, Yujiro. I totally... I can't believe I left Baki flexes out. I'm glad you brought up the Baki flex. That's definitely the best flex.
Is that the same series where there's like that really big muscle guy and he takes a lightning strike and it doesn't do anything to him?
Hey, yeah, that's Yujiro. That's what we were talking about.
Okay.
That's also
Yujiro has so many flexes when there's an earthquake.
like when he made
on.
Baki fucking piss himself. That was a big flex. Nobody in the series came close to doing that.
Or when there's a whole earthquake going on around Yujiro and he just
punches it. Yeah, he just punches it and just stops it. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's just an earthquake. Who cares about this earthquake?
Wow, Yujiro's an ugly baby.
Shut up.
What did you send that in, Tim?
It's the DBA admin chat.
Oh, okay. I thought so. I have to exit out of my pool match.
Yeah, the podcast is still pretty short though. We can probably
Yeah, we can just chat. You know,
talk about.
I got nothing.
Yeah,
I got nothing to
I
do.
got plenty of flexes. I'm not running out anytime soon.
Yeah, we can talk about some more general flexes.
Oh, the DBA.
Yeah, what about when Sonic swings his sword at Saitama and he just bites his sword into pieces?
You know, Saitama
God,
is a character
that
flexes.
baby is disgusting.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, the baby's
Fucking
gonna be
hell.
on screen for everyone to see.
Well, I mean, did you expect a muscular baby to be good looking?
No,
Fair.
but I
That's
didn't expect it to look like my sleep paralysis demon.
this guy. Take me out safely. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, Yujiro is the ultimate flex character. Besides Saitama, who is literally made to just flex on everybody he meets.
No, I
Adult.
think Yujiro actually is a bigger flex because he literally is still human.
Well, Saitama's still
Saitama-
human. What do you mean?
Kinda.
He's still human.
There's a whole thing on him removing his limiter, though.
But he's a human.
I mean, he's still a human. He just reaches peak, past peak, what a human is capable of.
Yeah, he needed to hold his breath on the moon, so he's pretty human.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean, though. Like,
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Adult Caillou has some pretty good flexes.
Like, I like when he flexes on Flashy Flash. Flashy Flash is just like, I'm gonna run away from you now. Have fun keeping up to me. Saitama's just like, huh, you're kinda fast. And it's just,
I love when Speedo Sonic comes down and he just bites the sword. Like, I'm just like, what?
isn't that the one
Yeah,
Genos was
that's
brought
what we
up?
were just talking
Yeah,
about.
we just talked about that. God, Trank.
Oh, I thought that was the one you said was Flashy Flash.
No, I was talking about a Flash Flex. Before that, we were talking about the Sonic one.
Oh, then I missed that one, and I must have bumped my mic. I don't know. I must have zoned out. Sorry.
God damn it, Bobber. Okay, you had some more flexes. Who else had more flexes?
I got one.
Go, Trink.
My absolute favorite character in fiction is Sesshomaru, and one of the biggest flexes ever is when he is fighting Muriamaru in the final fight, and his Tokijin just like breaks, and he thinks that that's the end of it, and he just delves deep inside himself and realizes that he had an inner power within himself the whole entire time, and he just like never realized it. And he pulls out Bakusaiga out of his arm, the one that Inuyasha cut off. Like there was his own blade was in his arm the entire time, and then he just annihilates Naraku, Hakudoshi, and Miriamaru just at the same time. And Naraku's like, if you think that's gonna do anything against me, try again. And then Bakusaiga has this attack to where whatever it touches and destroys, it continually blows up until the target is done. And like Inuyasha, just his face is just like terrified, almost like I've got to test Saiga to this level of power, and he just pulled a sword out of his arm and just the face on Naraku like, yeah, well, I'm fucked. It's one of my all-time favorite moments in Inuyasha. It's so good. Dead silence. That's what I expected.
No, I haven't seen Inuyasha in so long. I can't really relate.
yeah. I remember my brother used to watch that show, and I wasn't a big fan, so I can't really chip in on that one.
Tim, you gonna save me here, or am I all alone on this one?
On which one?
Oh.
Sorry, I was zoning out for a second.
It's only fair.
So am I up now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, if you want.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And this is another Yujiro flex, but it was kind of just equally like, what the fuck situation. But he made an illusion of himself, and the illusion punched Baki so hard, it felt like an earthquake had happened to multiple people.
Yujiro comes with a flex. What's up? What are you doing? Stop it. Yeah.
He was imitating the earthquake.
That's exactly what that sounded like, honestly.
Oh, was there a noise on the other end? My cat just bit my microphone.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Yeah, he came up and I was ignoring him, so he just came up and just bit the thing that looks like a toy. So.
God damn it, Katie. Okay.
Damn it, cat! I'll feed you later.
We're leaving that in.
I got another flex here. This is from an Iron Man, like Superior Iron Man story arc. He's basically, well, if anybody has read the Superior Iron Man story arc, like,
I own the comic.
okay. You might, you'll probably remember this flex. He was a bit evil, you know. His morality was kind of switched thanks to a spell from Scarlet Witch. But anyways, he was talking to Daredevil, and he kind of like cured his blindness, made him see again. And I'll talk about it from the I'll straight read it from the comic here. The comic will be on the screen too. But Daredevil is basically just like, what gives you the right? And Tony's just like, you're kidding, right? I gave you sight, and you. Now, what gives you the right to play God? Please. Being a god can't be too hard. I mean, if Thor can do it, you think this is a joke? I'm the most intelligent person capable on the planet. I'm not playing God. All this time, I've just been playing human. Like, that's just Iron Man flexing.
Damn.
Oh, great Iron Man. You probably recognize that, Timothy.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now, but yeah, that was a good one. Actually, there was another Marvel one that came out pretty recently. In Immortal Hulk issue 33, when there's this character that was trying to mind control Hulk and all of his other personalities. And World War Hulk comes out, like that personality comes out, and he says, "Welcome to Planet Hulk," as he just one-shots him.
Oh, I really gotta read some Hulk comics. That does sound.
Alright. I got another one from Vinland Saga. It's kind of a two-piecer. So, basically, everyone from Vinland Saga is just a normal human, although some of them could be considered enhanced, while some of them obviously are enhanced. But basically, Thorkel throws a spear off the very edge of where the human eye can see. Like, all they could see of Thorkel was just a gleam of their swords and whatnot. They could barely make anything out. So, like, I don't know, probably like 2 kilometers or something like that, let's just say. Thorkel throws a spear from that distance and shish kebabs 3 of Oshalod's men. And then in the same battle, Thorfinn jumps on a horse and rides a horse at full gallop at Thorkel. And all he does is punch the horse out of the way, completely halted its momentum. And horses, I believe, can reach 60, 70 kilometers an hour full gallop. And he actually sent it backwards and flying, you know, just head over hooves, and just absolutely fucked this horse up, like killed the horse. And this guy's supposed to be a human. And he has 2 axes on his back, like he easily could have dodged the horse or hit it with an axe. Nah, he wanted to show everyone, you know, I'm Thorkel and I'm the biggest, strongest guy in the world. And he just punches this horse away like it's a fucking toddler, to be honest.
Oh, that makes me want to watch Vinland Saga. Oh my god, there's so many things I gotta watch and read.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Thorkel's kind of a master of flex himself.
There's so many flex masters in fiction. Like, all of the flexes. Trank, you have any more flexes?
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
play. There's a lot of flex masters in a lot of series, but I don't remember any flexes in the Sonic series.
Oh my god. Metal Sonic flexes even though he's a robot.
Is it really a flex though? Like, I mean, in the end, he kind of gets owned every time too.
Doesn't Knuckles flex a couple times?
Knuckles, everything Knuckles says is a flex.
Yeah, okay, Knuckles has had a couple flexes now that I think about it. You guys watch Sonic X?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember that time where Shadow is bouncing around the walls? Knuckles just grabs him and throws him. He doesn't.
Yes.
Oh my god. It's been so long since I watched Sonic X.
The main thing I know about Sonic X recently is because of that video edit I did.
I'm gonna be learning about a lot of things, editing videos.
Yeah, there was. I'll just talk about it like briefly. What it was is someone sent me a video of like this girl running out on the Mari show, like she was crying, and she kept darting around the corners. And someone was like, "Please, just someone add some music to this that would make it go like perfect." And I just put the Sonic X theme song to it, and it matched perfectly. It was so funny.
That video is gonna be playing for everybody to see, just so.
The one that I made, because I have to find it.
You're gonna have to find it and send it to me. Obviously, people are gonna want to see that.
Okay, I'll get that to you then. My flex is definitely though. I'm sure you guys. This is one for you too. Esterosa freezes all of like the knights and Bon in their place with his commandment, and then here comes Escanor, just coming straight up. And how Esterosa goes, "Why isn't my commandment working on you? Why should it? I don't hate those who are weaker than myself." And oh my god, it's just like, bruh, it's like you are the biggest Chad.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy flex too.
I like when Escanor
I'm
is
honestly
fighting.
surprised that nobody else has mentioned Escanor.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that too.
I figured what we were gonna do is after our top 5, we weren't gonna have much more. But with how much we have, I'm like, Escanor has never been like a top for me. He's probably gonna be soon. I'm rereading Seven Deadly Sins. I'm gonna try to get some extra funds together and purchase all the official translation. So.
Honestly,
and I'll definitely.
After the series ended, like they degraded everyone until he absolutely was the only character I still liked.
Yeah,
Escanor is the greatest character of all time. They killed him off so they couldn't ruin his character.
They did Arthur. That's actually a pretty good point. Probably, like, you know what? I'm gonna give you this epic death so that everyone remembers it, not just we're just gonna get rid of him.
I mean, his death is pretty pointless, honestly. He just kind of like.
Oh,
I hated his death. Stupid. They just kill him off just for the point of it.
Yeah, there's a couple parts in there I'm just like, that could have been done so much better. Like, I feel the flex and then deflex of Arthur versus Cusack and or Cusick. I don't know how to say his name.
Cusack and Chandler.
So it's Cusack?
Yeah, Cusack.
Okay, Q the sack and and Chandler. I thought it was such a huge flex when he had Excalibur and was fighting them, and then Cusack then knew of Excalibur and just like was like, you're not strong enough to use this, it doesn't seem, and then just flexes him. I thought that was pretty big.
Yeah,
I loved Arthur. Arthur was probably one of my favorite characters ever introduced into the series.
reverse flexes are the best. Oh, okay, I wish we got to see more of Arthur with his chaos fire. I hope we get to see more of that in the sequel for sure. Can't wait.
Here's hoping.
I can't wait for the sequel, even though they ruined the endings of Seven Deadly Sins. But whatever, it's whatever. I guess Kath was a better villain than the Demon King still.
The Demon King is still the Disappointment King. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, he's the king without any flexes.
Pretty much.
Does he have any flexes?
No.
Yeah, no.
I guess using his ruler for the first time, but like hardly.
Yeah, but then after that, he just gets shit on like by everybody.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Oh, okay. So I have another. I'd say another big one for Seven Deadly Sins is when Bond comes out of purgatory and has to save Elaine from a whole bunch of like demons, and he just moves his hand down and then uses Fox Hunt on like all of them, and then saves her. I feel that's a huge flex. Just like they're nothing to him. Okay, you need to calm down. Stop biting my Stop it.
Yeah, when Bond first came out of purgatory, it's awesome. Just flex so hard on all the demons. Like, I don't even need to try. So I was kind of hoping you got like a new power up or like a special power. It was just the same old Bond, just stronger without regeneration.
I mean, I guess technically you could do that Fox Hunt, that he was able to do it on multiple targets instead of just one.
Yeah, but that's not a completely new power. Like what I'm talking about.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Like a special form. Like King got a whole new form. Like
Bruh, King is probably my favorite character in the series.
Yeah, King's pretty awesome. I like how he flexed on Demon Mile there. So the Demon commandments just flex so hard on them.
Oh, what about when Genos is fighting Speed of Sound Sonic and he just appears behind him and grabs his little ponytail off the back of his head? That was pretty funny. That was a good flex.
Yeah.
There's so many flexes. Like fucking Punch Man, honestly. Like everything Saitama does is flex. It's like, oh, I gotta go to the grocery store. I just gotta one punch you real quick. Hold up. There's a sale. No, running. Nah. Anyone else have any more flexes? We're running pretty late, actually. We can end off any time.
Trying to think of like a cartoon one.
We need more comic flexes.
I got another Fate one.
Okay, shoot.
When Gawain was fighting Gilgamesh, the first thing he states was, "Perish, whore of Babylon." Literally the first thing.
That's pretty funny.
Just go and list off all the Gilgamesh flexes right now.
All of them?
All of them.
Well, okay. When he couldn't figure out a way to die, so he thanks you when you accidentally kill him in Babylonia just to revive himself and then kill the final boss with one attack.
Oh my god. I need to get into Fate, you know. Like, all I know about Fate is from Lord Tim.
Yeah, pretty much it's like, hey, I'm gonna debate Tim. Alright, what Fate character are we having this time?
You know, he's used Sonic characters.
Yeah.
I've recently been using Attack on Titan characters as well.
Oh my god.
Yup, I'm about to find out. Well, actually, I did find out, but I will find out.
Oh, another Attack on Titan flex when Levi just flexes on the Beast Titan. Oh, I love that. He just like travels across the entire field, and the Beast Titan just finished taking out like his entire squad basically, and he's so confident. Levi just comes up and destroys him, like absolutely destroys him, dismantles him, pulls him out of his Titan.
Yeah.
Levi's such a great character.
Did anyone ever watch? Well, I'm sure you guys did, but has anyone watched in a while the old Beyblade series?
I haven't watched
No,
it
actually.
since I was a kid. Oh my god.
I would say one of the biggest flexes for that is when the final match with Tyson is against the Blickstreet Boys, and he has to take 4 of the members on, including Tala, and he unlocks Galaxy Dragoon's like ultimate attack, completely blows off the entire stadium, and destroys their blades in the process. Like they're not able to go to the next round because they just demolish the blade. He just demolishes the blades, and then Kai realizes how out of his league he is at that point, other than having Black Dronzer, and he goes back over to the Blade Breakers, and I'm just like, that was insane.
I think I actually remember that.
Like one of my favorite, if we ever do like a favorite fight, one of my favorite final fights ever is in G Revolution, Kai versus Tyson. It's so animated well, and it's just so well done.
Wait, did you even watch the last podcast? We just did our favorite fights. God, Trank. You don't even pay attention to the name of our videos?
I'm sorry, guys, if I'm a little quiet. I'm actually playing Call of Duty again.
Oh my god. But, we can probably end off.
Yeah, I think this is a good point to end.
If anyone else has any other flexes. No?
I don't think so.
Alright.
I mean, it'd probably go on too long if I listed all of them.
Listed all of the Gilgamesh flexes? Okay. Everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night,
Night.
everybody.